Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the screen on this Dell Inspiron 3593. They actually have the model number here, but usually most Dells don't, and I'll actually look it up on Dell's website, their support home. Anyways, we're using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that, put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. Even if the screws look exactly the same, I always try and keep them in order. That way, if there are any minor differences, it'll make sure that I don't accidentally mix them up, because sometimes they might look the same and they're not. So it's always a good idea to keep them in the pattern you remove them. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue removing all the screws. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their device as well. Looks like it's missing one screw. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. I think these screws actually stay connected, the two corner ones. All right, actually, is this one too? Oh, okay. All these screws near the hinge are, I guess, designed to stay in there. Okay, once we've gotten all the screws out, what I like to do is I will get my fingernails in between the little groove or the gap here, okay? And then I'll push with the back. So basically I'm pulling it out like this, okay? Just like that. You can see how easily it popped out, okay? I don't know why some people like to use pry tools for everything. I'll have people that tell me like they don't want to use like fingernails, or they don't like long fingernails. I mean, if you don't, then I guess you'll have to figure it out without fingernails. You can probably do it with pry tools, but if not, probably just let your fingernails grow out for like a week or two and you should be fine. Okay, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and continue popping this out. You kind of have to wiggle it a little. Usually I'll like push it this way or kind of jostle it like that, and then the clips will disengage, and there we go. So I got that, and you can see these three screws, they kind of stand there. And the way they do that is they actually put the thread of the screws only at the very tip. I don't know how I can show that, but basically the top part of the screw is smooth, okay? So, all right, so now that we've got this open, what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the battery. Actually, let me get a good snapshot there. Okay, so that'll be for the, excuse me, for the screenshot, the whatever, the main picture. All right, anyways, then we got, let's see, so we got the DC jack charge port connector here. It's underneath this hinge. We're gonna disconnect the battery. We don't need to remove it, so we're just gonna actually disconnect it to make it safer to work on. So let me actually zoom in here for you guys. I'm just gonna quickly go over what's inside internally, but I'm not gonna be taking everything out because the customer's outside waiting and they just need the screen replaced, all right? So we're gonna peel this up. Once you peel that up, you can get the edges of the plastic part of this connector, and you kind of just, I use my fingernails and just kind of wiggle it like this, and you can see it just pops out just like that. All right, and you can also see which side of the connector's up. This one with no holes in it, and then the other side, if you look at it, has the exposed metal pins. Okay, so make sure you don't flip that upside down, because if you plug that in upside down, you fry your entire motherboard. Okay. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Again, I'm just going to show the components inside. I'm not going to be removing them here. Got a 2.5-inch Sata hard drive. Okay, pretty easy to remove. 4 screws, then you can kind of slide it back. You might have to lift this back up because there's this raised plastic thing holding it down. All right, and also this cable, this connector is with a cable that runs along, I believe, up here, yeah, and underneath here. And this cable, the way you release it, there's a flip latch. You just flip this white piece up. I'm not going to do that. And then, yeah, if you need to, there's other videos if you don't know how to do it. You can watch those that I did, and yep. Some models have a fingerprint reader. This one doesn't. There's this connector here that goes to all the way up here for the USB port and SD card slot, as well as the BIOS, CMOS, RTC, real-time clock battery, whatever you want to call it. All right. LCD LVDS connector is up here, and it runs along down here and plugs in right there. Also, one of the flip latch connectors, you flip that up, then you can pull that back. You got this tiny cable here. I believe that's for the power button that goes right there. All right, again, I already showed the DC jack charge port, and again, if I didn't mention, that's a 2.5-inch SATA. You can upgrade it to an SSD, though there also is a slot here for an M.2 SSD. I'm assuming it supports PCIe NVMe. I would highly recommend an NVMe SSD over a SATA one. So if you can, get a 2.5, not a 2, M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD, put it in there, then clone your old hard drive to that SSD, and you can boot from that, make your computer much faster, right? Speaker connectors right here, and it connects with the other speaker with that little cable all the way to here, so there's only one connection to the board. Keyboard connectors right there, you can flip this latch up and then you can pull that out. You'll probably have to remove the battery to do that. There's a few screws holding the battery down. All right, if you can't figure out how to remove screws to get the battery out, then I don't know, you probably shouldn't be working on your computer. But anyways, this is the battery model, YRDD6, all right? And if you're not sure how to remove the battery, you can watch a whole bunch of my other videos. A lot of these Dells are built like very similar. Okay, some models will also have this keyboard backlight connector here. I believe this is for the touchpad or trackpad. You got the CPU underneath here. It's soldered in place. You can't remove it. So yeah, no need to ask if you can upgrade the CPU. Technically, you can if you replace the motherboard, or if you know like advanced soldering techniques, you'll need special tools to do that, and you're probably not going to be able to afford doing that. So no need to ask. All right. Anyways, you got this here, RAM PC4 2666V. All right, you can put any PC4 2666V, it should be fine. If you want to switch the speed of the RAM, keep in mind sometimes the motherboards will have compatibility issues. Maybe the BIOS doesn't support it and it might not boot. But if you stick with the 2666V, you should have no problem. You can get two 16 gig sticks and have 32 gigs total if you really wanted to. All right, then you also got the wireless card here. And usually you'll just take this plastic bracket off. It'll slide back a little bit, and then you can pull it up from the tails. If you're not sure how to do that, again, I have a whole bunch of videos showing these kinds of things. Not many of them will use this plastic thing though. But yeah, once you remove the screw, you can actually slide that plastic thing back to remove it. Okay, and then do they have a model number here? No. So anyways, what I'm going to do now is we're going to take the screen out of here. So we disconnected the battery. I didn't go over the safety protocol after disconnecting the battery, but once you disconnect the battery, what you want to do is open up the computer and press and hold the power button for 15 seconds. If you didn't watch my whole video and you just started pulling stuff out, usually you'll only have a problem with the LCD LVDS connector, so it's very important to press and hold this power button for at least 15 seconds before messing with the screen connections. Okay, so that's the screen, the connection behind the screen, or the connection right here. So hopefully you guys didn't like flip that up and start disconnecting it. Usually if you pull it back in a straight line, you're probably okay, but sometimes people end up doing it crooked and it shorts the pins and then you're screwed. But anyways, we got a replacement screen in this box here. We're gonna have to open it up. What did I do with my scissors? Oh, I forgot I brought it to work on something. So I'm gonna use this razor blade now because this is what I have right here. I don't wanna stop the recording and then go get it. So let's go ahead and cut this out. Okay. Alright, cut this open. Oh, there's a lot of tape on this thing. Okay, alright, let's open this thing up. Oh, it comes with all this like foamy stuff. Alright, anyways, we got the screen here. Hopefully everything is good. We're gonna set all this packaging stuff aside. Okay, so this is a BOE NT156 FHM-T00. I don't remember if that's what was the original screen. I'll have to open up the computer again to double check. I did open it earlier to check. Sometimes the sellers like to send replacement parts that are not the exact same model. Like they'll say it's a compatible part, so keep that in mind. All right, we're gonna pop this up. So the way I do that, you can see I'm basically rotating it like that and pushing with my thumb inwards. Okay. And also keep in mind that these have adhesive around the edges, so it is a little bit difficult to pull this up. You have to somewhat go slow. If your screen's already broken, it's not too important, but sometimes it won't come out if you're just trying to rip it out quickly, so keep that in mind. It might take a little bit of like just continuously applying pressure, pulling it up, and eventually the adhesive will peel away. Okay, so we're gonna flip this around this way now, and we're gonna work on this part. I might have to actually remove the entire screen to get this bezel off, but let's find out. Okay, so we're gonna pull this forward. This thing's not coming out, so I'm gonna use this tool just to push the adhesive down against the screen. So I push the adhesive down and pull this out, and then move over, push the adhesive down and pull this out. So basically I'm just trying to separate the screen plasticky layer and keep it attached to the screen itself, but it's kind of being a pain right now. Okay, I think I might actually have to remove the entire thing here. Let me see if I can separate this hinge right here. If I can separate the hinge part there, then hopefully I won't have to take it out. Oh, I can. Okay. So I'm using my fingernail and just running it along that gap, and you can see it's popping out. Okay, so I pop this whole piece of that hinge open. So hopefully once we do that, we'll be able to remove the plastic bezel frame, okay, without, and you want to carefully open this when you don't have the cover on because it has less screws helping hold the hinges in place. Okay, and we're just going to continue trying to pull this out. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're going to be able to pull this out without taking the hinge out and everything, but this plastic adhesive-y stuff is kind of annoying here, so I'm trying to like just separate the layers. And there we go. All right, there's more tape in there. The tape adhesive isn't necessary, so if you really want, you can actually just take all this adhesive out, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to put new adhesive there because it's just annoying. It doesn't really do anything except make doing this kind of thing more difficult and also more risky, because sometimes pulling this adhesive out, you can actually damage the control board there. This screen's already broken, so not too much of a worry. Okay, so there we go. We got to this piece. Now we're going to remove the screen. So the way you do that, okay, there's 4 screws holding it in the corners with these little metal tabs. So we're going to take those 4 screws out. Okay, just like this. Also, if you want to check your screen model number in advance to make sure your screen model, you order the right part, you don't have to disconnect the battery as long as you're not messing with the cables. You can just pop this piece off without even opening the bottom, and then that way you can order the screen first before you do it. But again, make sure when you're gonna go to replace the screen that you do disconnect the battery and then press and hold the power button at least 15 seconds. Okay, so now we got to here, and here you can see NT156 FHM-T00. So we did get the right screen. Why is it so blurry? There we go. Okay, so there's the model number. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to disconnect this. Okay, so you just get underneath here. Okay, interesting, this was already slightly peeled up. Anyways, you get underneath and then you kind of just wiggle this piece to kind of peel the adhesive up. And a lot of times it does that, like it tears a little bit off. It's okay. Then we'll flip this latch up and then make sure the adhesive is peeled completely back so it's not still on the screen's connector. There we go. And then I use the bottoms of the connector with my fingernails or my thumbs to push that back just like this. And there we go. We got the old screen out. Again, same model number, NT156FHM-T00, also by BOE. And if you're wondering, there's no such thing as a Dell LCD. They'll just rebrand and put stuff on it. Like Dell themselves don't make LCDs. They have companies that make LCDs. All right. The only one I think that might use their own LCDs is like Samsung. All the rest are like other brand LCDs. But Samsung will also sell their LCDs to other companies. So keep that in mind. All right. This looks pretty nice and new. I don't see a removable layer here. A lot of times when they ship screens, there's like a layer that you need to remove, but I don't see that on here. So we're just going to flip this over. All right, again, we have the same NT156 FHM-T00. I know it's upside down. But anyways, we're going to now get this new screen in. And if you're wondering, these aren't completely brand new screens. A lot of times they're like pulled from another laptop and then they just resell them because they have the model number. So that's how they sell them. All right, so we're going to get this all lined up. Make sure the corners are lined up underneath the slot. You don't want to bend those on accident. I've seen some customers that brought them in that they didn't know and they bent that in and then they damaged the connector. All right, so make sure this latch goes back on over on top. Okay, once you get that latch over the top like that, you can go ahead and put this adhesive back down. Okay, and it should hold itself in place. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back out. And we're gonna now put the screen back on. So what I do is I just grab this with my thumb. We're gonna flip it over like this so it's laying on its back. Then carefully grab the screen, slowly flip it down and lay it into place. Okay, just like that. All right, make sure this cable is going in that little slot that it came out, or it came from right there. All right, it doesn't need to go in that one, it just has to go in this one. So make sure if you try and put it in that one, you'll probably end up damaging it, so don't do that. All right, then we got the 4 screws here. We're gonna get this screw in. Oh, I'm getting like fingerprints and stuff all over it. Wait, why is this like sticking up here? What is the magnet falling out? Let me see, something's going on here. There's like a lump there, so I'm gonna lift this up and move this out. Oh yeah, why is this magnet falling out here? Okay, so this magnet, you want to make sure, I'm pretty sure it goes in this slot here. I don't know why it's just loose, falling all over the place. Uh-oh, how do I get it out? It's stuck in there. So I don't know how that magnet came out like that, but it did. So I'm gonna have to try and get it out, but I don't know, can I? Shoot, come on, it's sticking to the hinge. That's gonna be an issue. Oh no, oh no. How am I gonna get that thing out? That was not supposed to be part of the repair. Normally you don't have to do this, but I guess now my job is gonna be a little bit harder. So what I'm gonna do to get that out, we're gonna have to undo the hinge screws a little bit here. I'm gonna hold the laptop up so it doesn't fall over. Okay, we're gonna remove these screws. You want to carefully, slowly remove them. Okay, I might add some thread locker to these screws actually to make sure they don't come loose and fall out, because these screws are coming out pretty easily. And a lot of times when these, as you can see, that hinges, or this hinge screw is actually bad. You can see it doesn't hold anything. So actually I should add some not thread locker, I should add some glue there for my customer, because otherwise that thing's gonna break and then it's gonna come out. I don't think these screws are gonna be strong enough, because the hinge mechanism is here, so this screw is very important. Okay, so, oh no, how am I gonna get that out? What is going on? Okay, what I'm gonna have to do now, I'm gonna have to also remove the screw up in this top corner here that's holding this metal bracket in place. All right, and then this has plastic that's holding it in. Can I zoom out enough for you guys to see this? Okay, so this has like little plastic that goes over, so you kind of have to lift it and slide it over to the side like this. All right, to undo those clips, and there we go. We can lift this back a little bit, and I'm gonna use the other hinge to help hold it. And now hopefully I can get this out. This magnet is important. If you don't have this, when you close the screen, it's not gonna detect that the screen was closed. Anyways, now that we got that battery out, I'm gonna hold it out to the side and then swing it into place and make sure these little clips latch back in. This one here and this one, there's 2. All right, so those need to be on top. All right, we'll get this back in. All right, and I'm gonna add some JB weld here to make sure that hinge doesn't come out, because that's very important. If those hinges break, again, you're gonna end up with a broken screen or something bad. So yeah, I'm gonna try and fix that. And then this magnet, I'm gonna use some probably double stick acrylic tape. I'm gonna put it in there and then just try and smush it into there to get it to hold in place. All right, let me get some JB weld going here. Probably don't need too much, just a little bit, but I wasn't expecting this repair to be so much extra work. And I don't think the customer is going to be like, well, you were just replacing the screen, why do I have to do this? So I can't really charge for this kind of thing. So I'm just doing this just to be nice and to make sure their computer doesn't break in the future. All right, anyways, here we go. Because otherwise I do this and then they're gonna be like, you just changed my screen, what happened? So, all right, so we'll get this just a tiny bit. This is actually probably too much. I don't need that much, but it's okay. I just want to make sure that their computer doesn't have their hinge get destroyed. you know, they have the saying, no good deed goes unpunished, so hopefully I don't end up messing something up and then have to end up doing more work on this, but there you go. We'll get a little bit of this out as well. Okay. All right, let me just stir this stuff up, and then we'll put it in its place. Good. All right, we'll use this little screwdriver and we'll stir this stuff up. I think I might not have put enough of the black part. It's a little bit light colored, but I think it should be okay because most of the other screws are okay except for that one, so this is kind of just to fill it in and hold it. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna fill up the area underneath that screw, and that will keep it from popping back out, hopefully. So here you can see I can lift this up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lift that up. I'm gonna put some popsicle sticks or something in it to keep it raised, make it easier for me to get the epoxy underneath. Okay, I don't know how many I need to lift it. I'll lift it 1. Okay, 2. Okay, I guess 2 is probably all I can lift it without undoing a bunch of stuff. Maybe I can pull this out a little, make that easier. Okay. Okay, actually I can pop it up like a 3rd one. There we go. Okay, so now that I have access under there, I can actually, if you can see, this is the part that's broken. I don't know, I don't think I can grab that piece because the thing that holds the screw that spins around is probably way too thin. So I'm gonna try and see if I can grab it, but I doubt. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna put the JB Weld under there. And under there, okay. And these screws are the most important part. If they break, your screen's just gonna flop over and probably crack. So I'm gonna make sure we don't have any incident like that. Okay. All right, I don't know if any of the loose plastic that was in there kind of fell out. But for now, that's what we got. Oh, I got a customer calling me, so give me a second and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyways, we'll pull these sticks out, let it drop back down. Now the epoxy should be setting in there, and I kind of want to turn this to make sure it sits flat because right now I think it's not sitting right. Okay. There we go. That should be good. Let's go ahead and get these screws back in. Make sure to, of course, get this to go back under there. All right, and then we're gonna now, oh, of course, I'm gonna add the lock or thread locker as well. Okay, I got this Loctite 262, and just put a tiny bit, at least on the one closest to where the hinge connects. All right, so these 2 outer screws are actually the most important ones that are doing all the work pulling the thing together. As you can see, when I tighten this down, now the screw is actually popping up, so I don't know, I can't really get it to go completely flush down, so that's not good. That means some plastic bits are kind of in the way. Well, hopefully it'll be okay, and hopefully it'll set. There's enough epoxy in there that hopefully it'll kind of hold the rest in place. So we're gonna get this in, okay. And hopefully this thread locker will be good enough that it will keep it from coming back out. Okay, and get that in as well. Good. All right, so we got those all tightened down. We're gonna now just get the screen into place, line it up, drop it in, make sure that's in. All right, and let's get the 4 screws for the screen back in as well. Okay, that one. Got some fingerprints on there I need to clean off. Okay, and we'll get this one over here. All right, we got the one over here. And the last one up here. All right, this is taking longer than expected, so hopefully my customer's not like, what's going on? All right, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna flip this back over. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. You can leave it upside down like this first to get the bezel back in or started. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So get the bezel back in, line it up, slot it in. All right, I like to start with the top first. And you kind of like just get it back lined up, find where it goes, and we're basically rotating it again like before. And then once you kind of get it started, you can go ahead and just like kind of flatten down. Usually you just push on the outside edge like that, and it will click the rest in because that forces it to kind of flop into that motion. Okay, for the clip to go in, just like this. Okay, why is this not, come on, go down. There we go. Now we got all of that in. So this one we have to push from both sides back here and here, okay, to clip that all into place. Okay, oh, why isn't it lining up? Is it hitting something here? What are we hitting over here? Did the hinge, oh no, do I have to pop this back out? Okay, let's pop this back out. Something's not lining up right here, I think. Okay, come on, come back out. I need to see what's going on. Come on, there we go. Be careful not to put too much pressure on the screen when you're doing this. You don't want to accidentally break the new screen. So I don't know what's going on. I think maybe this is sticking up too high because of the broken screw thing. I should have removed the broken plastic in it. I left the broken plastic stuff there, and I think it's hitting something. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think it's pushing up on it. Like this piece, I can probably just pop it out, maybe. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna remove this additional plastic stuff around here, and then hopefully the epoxy will just set around the thing and be good enough. Okay, let's see if we can, I need to get this epoxy, or not the epoxy, the broken plastic out. Oh, that's what I forgot too, the magnet. Okay, good thing that thing kind of resurfaced itself. Because I would have forgot. Okay, let's get this back in. Oop, there's still a little bit of plastic on there. Uh-oh. I see that good deed starting to come into punishment. Okay, let's get this back in there. Now that sits flat, so we should be good. Okay, magnet time. How do we get that to stay in there? That's the thing I'm wondering. Let's see here. Okay, I need to get rid of this old broken plastic stuff, throw that away. Alright, so we need to get that magnet back in there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this double stick adhesive here. And we're just going to put a little bit, I think, if I can. Let's see, that means I actually have to go get the scissors that I was being too lazy to get earlier. Okay, I think this roll might be the right size. Okay, I'll be back. Let me get the scissors. Alright, I'm back. Got some scissors. We're just going to cut a small piece of this stuff out. Enough for the magnet. If anything, we could just stick the magnet on it first, but let's see, I think that might make it more difficult. Oops, I left some tape stuck on there. Okay, cut a small piece here. And hopefully we can get it into place. Okay, this in there. Like it's running around. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna use the tweezers. What are you doing over there, Venus? Okay, we're gonna get this into there. Yeah, this is so difficult. Come on. Get in place. There we go. Stay in there. Good. Now can I actually get the thing out, the magnet, and drop it into the right spot? Okay. So with the pliers I can. Alright, now we're gonna grab this and just plop it in there and push that into place, and yep, there we go. So now we got the magnet where it's supposed to be. Sorry, let me zoom in so you guys can see better. Alright, so the magnet is supposed to go in here. There's actually a little cutout for it. Okay, there we go. And let's go ahead now and get the bezel back on. It should go on nicely now that we put that back. Now I need to get rid of all this junk that's all around my desk again. Okay, set this aside. Alright, let's go ahead and get the bezel and put it back on. We are gonna want to clean up all this salt. Get out of my way. Okay. We have to clean up all this fingerprint. Oh, I just knocked the microphone cover off. Make sure you keep that on. A little rubber microphone cover. Oops, get back on there. Yeah, the microphone has this little rubber piece here, and what that kind of does is it kind of isolates the sound a little bit so it doesn't absorb too much vibrations. Alright, get all this fingerprinty stuff off. Let me make sure we lined up the microphone in the right spot. Get this in. Okay, we should be good. Yeah, the hole goes towards closer to the top of the screen. Just want to make sure. Okay, there we go. Get this in, and let's go ahead and snap all this back in. Okay. Work your way around. Work your way around. Alright, and make sure to push these down, and hopefully this time it's going to snap in right. Okay, good. Let's see. We'll push from both sides again. Try and clip that all back in together. Okay, work your way down. Why does this side not want to completely stay? There we go. Okay, now we got it all snapped in. Make sure to double check over here as well. Okay, looks good. Slowly, carefully close it up. Make sure that's all snapped in. Alright, I don't know why I was making such creaky noises. Make sure these are nice and tight, and they are, so we should be fine. There's one screw here, but you want to be careful because this cable is in there. Alright, again, so these screws were like slightly loose, as you can see, and that's why usually I'll put the red thread locker stuff, or Loctite thread locker, yeah. So I don't know if I should do this one because this cable's slightly in the way. Let me hold it out of the way, get this screw out. I'll at least put the thread locker on this one because it's the closest to the hinge moving mechanism, and that's the one that takes the most force. So we'll just get a tiny bit on there, hold the cable out of the way, and tighten that down. Alright, we'll do the same thing with this one screw. I mean, you can see how easy it is for me to unscrew that and even like use much force, and that's where I see a lot of these hinge mechanisms break because they come loose, and then instead of holding the hinge in place, it's like getting pried out. So we're going to do this one as well, actually. I should probably do the other side as well. Just have 2 screws on each side holding really strong. Okay, this one as well. Alright, so we got that. Let's go ahead now and just plug the battery back in. So pretty straightforward. Let me zoom in here. I'm going to turn it around so it's easier for me. Okay, so you get this. Line this up. Once you get it all lined up, make sure that you plug this in evenly. Sometimes people will push it in crooked and then bend the pins. Make sure you pull both sides in. It should go in evenly. Stick that back on top. There we go. And it should work now. Since we didn't have to remove the CMOS battery, so let's go ahead and see. We want to make sure the screen is working well. Power it up. Hopefully they didn't drain it completely. Is their battery completely dead? Okay, I think their battery's completely dead. Let me get my charger then and plug it in. I think I have one here. Okay, is it plugged in? Yes, it is. Okay, let's plug this in. Where's their charge? Okay, the charge light on the left is coming on. It just flashed once. It's not okay, there you go. And it's charging now. Oh, you can't even see it. Sorry. Oh, it turned off again. Well, let's see if it turns on. Lights flashing. I hear it turning on. The hard drive spinning. Lights. Okay. And there you go. You see the screen is coming up. So we should be good to go. Primary battery is not identifiable. Why? We didn't change anything. Let's see what's going on. We're going to go in the BIOS and see what the battery is showing here. That's really weird. Power management. Overview. Processor battery. Primary battery 0. What is going on with the battery? We didn't do anything with it. Alright, let's turn this off. Let's double check the battery. I don't know what's going on with that. It's plugged in. We didn't really change anything. Okay. Why is it doing that? Let's peel this back up. Double check the connection. Peel that out. Okay. Let's double check here. No pins were harmed in the making of this video, right? Looks fine. This connection is also fine. What is going on? Why is the battery not being detected? Right? Get this line back up. Pop it back into place. What would go wrong with the battery? There's not really anything moving in here. Okay, we didn't really take anything out. Let's go ahead and open this up again. Nothing. Is the battery like really dead? What is going on? Okay, it's powering on. Is it going to give me the same error? It turned itself off. I don't know what's going on. The power light on the side is just flashing on and off. Okay, it's staying on right now. The light's staying on, which means it should be okay. I hear it turning on. What is going on here? Okay, light staying on. It's booting up this time and it's not complaining. So I guess I'm gonna have to check the battery after this is done just to make sure. We're gonna boot to the BIOS again. I don't know why it gave that error. That's kind of strange. Alright, let it boot. It's taking a while to boot. It's a spinning drive, not an SSD, so we'll see what happens. I do want to also, of course, make sure it's going to work on battery. So once it boots up, I'm probably going to disconnect it. Oh, the boot is doing like something really weird with the dots going super slow. I don't know what's happening there. Yeah, it's like the boot thingy is going like really slow. Can you see those dots? They're like lagging. I don't know if I unplug the battery, if it's going to randomly stop. What is going on? Okay, it just finished spinning and now the screen's just completely black. Here we go, it's blue. Okay, it's actually starting up. It shows the username. I think it's just logging in without asking for the password. I guess they didn't put a password. Actually, now it's showing the date and time. I don't know what's going on. It's showing the battery charging logo, but it's not saying it's charging. Okay, anyways, I'm going to restart it one time. I'm going to check the BIOS again because this is not seeming to be functioning right. I'm going to do a restart. It said somebody might be working on something. I'm going to restart anyways. Come on. Yeah, the customer's probably going to be like, what's taking so long? Let me see what's... Okay, so far they haven't said anything. Wow, this computer is really slow. I don't know what's going on. Well, once it restarts, I'm going to press F2 to get into the BIOS. We're going to check if the battery is charging. The customer didn't bring their own charger because they left it in another car. So, I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But most likely, I just have to put the bottom cover back on and we should be good to go. And yeah, ouch. Okay. So, it's still restarting. What is this? Why is it taking so long? Okay, it's finally going. I'm going to press F2. Oh, nope. The screen just went black because it went to sleep. So, I don't know what's going on. Okay, is it actually going now? Okay, I'm going to press F2. Should be starting up soon. Just pressing F2, F2, F2. Okay, preparing to enter BIOS. Battery's 3%. Charging, excellent health. Okay, so we should be good now. I don't know what was going on. I don't know why their battery is 0%. That's really weird. You actually don't want to drain these batteries to 0. That's very bad for them. So I should actually let it keep charging for a bit. Yeah, lithium batteries don't like being at 0%. When you do that, it creates dendrites. So I forgot what types. When you overcharge it, it creates lithium dendrites. And when you don't keep it charged, like, I don't know if you can see these bubbles here. Let me zoom in. I don't know if you can see these, that dent there and this little bubble there. Those are likely from dendrites, like they're poking up from inside. So you want to be very careful. You don't want to completely drain your battery to 0. And you also don't want to leave it sitting at 100% for a long time. That's also bad for these batteries. A lot of the new computers now are either building in a failsafe where 0% is actually not 0% and it still has a lot more capacity left. It just doesn't let you use it. And then other ones, they'll actually do a thing where it doesn't charge the battery, and then people get scared because they're like, why is my battery not charging? Anyways, we're gonna just snap all of this back together. Okay, when I was doing this, I was doing it this way, so let's go ahead and put it back that way, and we'll just get back all the screws into place. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, other than that, you're welcome to stay as I get back all these screws, but pretty much done. Alright, again, make sure everything was snapped in, looks good. Alright, and we're just going to get all these screws in. I wonder if let me see if I have another screw for them, a matching one, so that they have all their screws, because they're missing one on the outside, and that's somewhat of an important screw. I don't know if I have one that's that quite same length, but let's see. I have to try and match. That's too long. I can probably go with a little bit shorter. I don't think I have the same length one. Maybe this one. Close, but the top is too small. Okay, yeah, I don't think I have one of that length. What about this one? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, it's a little different color, but it's all right. We'll live. All right, so I'll get this screw. Actually, yeah, we'll just put that one back where it came from. This mini one here. Okay, get this one here. I think the customer's calling me, so I need to finish getting all these screws in. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, that, and the battery's still charging, so we're good to go. All right, let's drop this. Bye.